finally finished The 5 People You Meet in Heaven in between all of my revision. This book was so good, it was amazing, and thank you to the friend who recommended it to me. I enjoyed it so much. So this book is about an old guy called Eddie who is a fairground maintenance guy, and he dies saving the life of a little girl right at the beginning of the book. And it's basically about him going to heaven and finding out about why things happened in his life. The whole concept of this book is basically that you meet 5 people in heaven who explain your life to you, and I think it's a great concept. I really liked it, and it was such a great read. The narrative of this book is split up into 3 main narratives. The first narrative is what's happening after his death, so that's what's happening in the present. The second narrative is the narrative of him and the people he is meeting in heaven, telling him why these specific things have happened during his life. And the third narrative is a narrative that tells about his past, and this works by telling you what happens on specific birthdays of his. Throughout the story, we're told about him and his wife Marguerite, and it's such a beautiful love story. I was crying by about 40 pages in, and it was a subtle crying. It wasn't a, this is really sad, this has happened, you need to cry. It was just something that she said, and it was just so touching. I don't feel like the characterization in this book is really a huge thing, but I still felt very connected to the characters, especially Eddie and Marguerite. I just thought that was a very nice development there. We don't find out if Eddie has saved this little girl until the very end of the book, which I think is a really great way to hold the attention of the reader. Not that the story doesn't do that anyway, because the story is very well written. Although there's quite a lot of past, present, future narratives, it's very easy to follow, which I found really great, because that just adds to the story, because you've got 3 layers that are constantly overlapping and building on each other, which I really love. I think the book gives a very strong and very sweet message that all lives are interlinked, and that we should therefore treat people in our lives, even that we meet for just a little while, nicely, because in the end they might end up saving our lives. Overall, I would give it 5 stars out of 5 because it was so well written and everything was so clear, even though it was so complex at the same time. I love the characters, and having it make me cry, that's always a good sign of a good book.